G'day and welcome to Friends of Oris video review for this week. With me I've got our technical expert Warren, and what are we going to be talking about today, Warren?
Well, what we thought we'd talk about today is changing straps on the ever popular diver. Changing between rubber and stainless steel.
Okay, so we're going to look at cutting the rubber bracelet to fit your wrist, so making sure you get it on the right side of the cut.
I'm actually a big fan of just taking one segment at a time and then putting it back on and trying it.
Slow and steady.
It's more time consuming, but you're less liable to make an expensive mistake.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at some of the tools that we'll need.
Okay, for a job like this, basically hammer, a punch of some kind. Hammers. This is the one of my choice. I find that it's easy to wield. Will come in handy with the soft faces. It's less liable to mar the surface. Right, so what we're going to do first is take this bracelet off the watch. Now there are a couple of ways to do that. Some might prefer to use a holder to retain the watch. Position the punch as firmly and as closely to the centre of the pin as you can. Use a finger to support and help guide. You obviously need to be very careful with the hammer. No big swings or heavy blows. It's all small, short taps. All the while guiding with the finger, short, sharp taps. Now that's come free. Now there'll be a bushing inside of here that you need to make sure you don't lose. This retains the pin in the strap. So we'll do the other end. First thing to make sure is that you've got the rubber strap or the new strap, whatever you're putting on, the right way around in relation to the case. A good rule of thumb is make sure that the word Oris reads correctly when you place it over, so that you know that the strap will go on in relation to the crown that way. Put the bush into the rubber strap. Right, so position the strap in the watch and then place your pin into the lug and just gently feel that it's started into the start of your bush there. Finger and thumb as not only a guide but as a buffer, just in case you happen to slip a little bit with the hammer. You're going to hit your finger rather than the watch case. I also make a point of not trying to have it hit the tabletop, so I tend to rest it on my other fingers. A good tip when driving these home is if you happen to have a pin with a hollow in the end, it acts as a great locator for the top of the pin, so it's less liable to slip off, as you can see there. There's one in. So again with the other side. So you can see it only takes very gentle blows of the hammer to do this, and you're much better off being patient and settling with the short, sharp blow rather than trying to drive it home quickly. You're far less inclined to have an accident. So there we have our watch on our strap. Quite simple. Just a matter of taking care. To judge how much you would need to take off your rubber strap is to simply put the watch on your wrist and clip it up, and then by pinching in like this you'll get an idea. I wouldn't recommend just going by that and cutting. I still much prefer the cutting the link by link. So we want to remove the clasp from the strap. The easiest way, of course, is with a little pin of some variety. What you've got to do, as I'm sure you're all aware, is just push down and let it slide out, and then we have our clasp removed. Just before we take it off completely, just to remember again which way your clasp goes on to the rubber strap, just to save yourself some time. Remove your spring bar from the strap, and also what you'll be removing next is this pin in here, which is just a blanking pin for where your spring bar will be put in its new position. Grab yourself a bit of chopping board so you don't damage your table surface, and get the sharpest knife that you can find. These Stanley type box cutters are excellent for the job. Now, you'll place the strap on its back on the board, and where you're cutting is directly this side of that rounded piece there where your pin goes through. Right, if you look carefully you can actually see a very fine line along there, which is a bit of a cut line. Right, so place it down firmly, making sure not to cut into the round piece because that's what's going to retain your pin. Just slice that segment off. Might take you a couple of passes. These Oris rubber straps are nice and sturdy. So there we have it. There's a new section removed. But what we'll show you now is just putting this clasp back on. So you would just put your bottom pinhole in there, and I just generally use my thumbnail and push it in and gently put it in place. Quite simple. Okay, so that's back in place. And Oris reads correct to the orientation of the crown. These are the micro adjustments that we spoke about earlier. Your only micro adjustment for strap length with the extension closed is these two here. So you've just got the one in and out. On a dive watch, this micro adjustment is only for when you're wearing the watch over a wetsuit with the extension piece open. Take it down to the next hole. I prefer to do it a step at a time like this. It's just a little bit easier and you're less inclined to lose the pin. Like that, quite simple. So that's your micro adjustment. Okay, so the main thing to keep in mind is when you're doing these jobs, just take it slow, be confident with what you're doing, and you should be alright.
That's fantastic, Ron. Thanks for that.
Okay.
Hopefully that covers any questions that people have. If you're still concerned about changing straps, either A, whack it on the forum, ask a question, or send me an email at oris@clubsr.com. Next week we'll be looking at... I have no freaking idea what we're looking at next week.
Probably have a lot of, it's very popular, I'll start again. Yeah.
Cutting the metal bracelet to fit your...
Or cutting the rubber bracelet.
Sorry.
Get the grinder out.